Hey, all you comic book fans out there, welcome back to Comic Book Corner. And guys, we're getting ready to do a comic book review, and we are doing, bam, Avenging Spider-Man issue 15.1. That's right. This is the follow-up issue to Amazing Spider-Man issue 700. So this is after the events of Spider-Man 700. So if you are not sure which book to read, read 700. And if you guys are looking for a review on Amazing Spider-Man issue 700, I did the review, a full review on it on Dark Avenger Inc. It is a review that doesn't contain many spoilers at all. It doesn't give away too much of the book, so if you guys want to check it out, please go check out on Dark Avenger Inc. And I will be doing this review right now. This may contain a little bit more spoilers because it's a smaller issue, and let's just say it's going on into Superior Spider-Man. So with that being said, let's get started with this book. First off, we're going to start off with the cover. I love the cover. The cover is a classic cover here. We can see it. It just goes into, the heydays of, Dr. Octopus and Spider-Man doing their classic battles. And we have the costume on the claw. I really dig the cover. It was really sweet to see. This book was written by Chris Yost, which is really nice. He does Scarlet Spider, which is a phenomenal series right now. If you guys haven't checked that out, go ahead and check it out. It's a great series. So this book was very well written. If what things are to come for Superior Spider-Man, I enjoyed this issue. Our pencils were done by Paco Medina, and our inker was done by Juan Velasco, and the colors was done by Dave Carell. This issue basically follows up, like I said, on the events of Spider-Man 700. And we can see here it says, Dr. Octavius is dead. And, yeah, guys. And if you read the issue already, you kind of got to put two and two together and just figure it out. But we get to see that it's like the next day, it's the first day, and we have Dr. Octavius, which is now the new Superior Spider-Man, sitting there going, I did it, I beat Spider-Man. He like freaks out, after like he's sworn to be like, I swear I'm gonna live your legacy, I'm gonna be the Superior Spider-Man. Like he was like swearing, like he kind of felt bad for the guy. Like he flipped his book, flipped the page, started a new chapter in his life. And you can't see it, he kind of goes back to his evil ways a little bit here. And he's just saying, oh, I'm better in Peter in every way, I'm superior. You can see it, he says it in the book, and he keeps talking about Peter's technology, how his was inferior and his was superior, and he goes back until how Spider-Man used his technology to get the upper hand on Peter in the long run. But it's really cool because you get to see this kind of like origin tale of Superior. It's like you kind of get like like the style of Dr. Otto Octavius, how you always seen him working with his goggles and things like that on, and he's working away, but he's like all buffed up now. Now he's like, oh, I'm young, I got this whole life to live. And you can see him designing the suit. You can see it right there. I mean, you can see him drawing it and going out with the back and adding all these cool things to it. He's designing the lenses so he can see better. He's just adding all this cool stuff to it, which is neat. And he goes back, and you can see, flashes back to his original self, things like that. And you can kind of feel that Peter's natural instincts in his body have taken over Octavius a little bit. Like he goes and he starts wandering on walls and not really wondering what's going on, doesn't realize it. He goes and stops you know, there's a petty thief, which is funny, just back in the day, just like Amazing Spider-Man. Guys sitting there going, hey, stop that thief. You know, you can see him sitting there going like that. And Octavius just sits there and goes, he goes, I know I've sworn to do good, but this is beneath me. And then the next thing you see is like, pop! And he just punches the thief out. And it's like, and he says it, he goes, that was instinct, I suppose. And he sits there and he thinks about it, you know. So it's like you got Peter's muscle memory just taking over things, you know, and seeing all his past images. And he relives MJ's memories here, thinking that her memories cloud his mind, how he feels that he's always a danger to Peter. And you can see here that MJ's drawn beautifully, by the way, in this issue. And he's just like, his memories tell me that no one knows me better than more I consider her. The more she becomes a liability she needs to he's like, dear God, that woman. He goes, Peter Parker's a fool, basically saying, you know, you're a fool for putting her out on the shelf because she's hot, you know. So again, it's reliving all these things. He's busy designing everything, getting everything under control. He's trying to go back to where Peter works, and he feels like he can't work there. He feels like he's kind of not himself. He feels like he's too much of Peter or too much of Spider-Man, so he goes into his underwater bases, and you can see him, he swims under there, and he tries to go find out what's going on. And he goes and he sits on home, and he's like, home, you know. So it relives his old memories. It's coming back. Next thing you see is the fire alarm, the alarms of Octavius start sounding, and he just sits there and he goes, you have made a fateful mistake invading the domain of Dr. Octopus. And he sits there and he says it, and then he and then the real Dr. Octopus says, is that how I really sound? He goes, I'm like an underwater walrus, you know. And he sits there and he's starting to fight his own technology, but from Peter Parker's, you know, from Spider-Man's point of view. And he sat there and he goes, how much I've always thought I was better, stronger, more superior, and brilliant. He goes, in the end, he goes, I've always lost. I've always lost. And this was great artwork right here on the page. It's just seeing all the visions of past Dr. Octopus's drawings. And and he's saying that he's failed, in that he's basically now has really shown a true epiphany of himself, and he feels that he's better than himself. He feels that he can turn over a new leaf. He's better than what he was, and he's better than Otto Octavius. He sits there, he punches the monitor that he was showing himself on, and he's sitting there going, I'm done with him. And he's just sitting there and he goes, I've seen myself through Peter Parker's lens now. I've seen my mistakes and the things that are coming to change, because Otto Octavius is no more. His days of losing are over. He goes, long live. He goes, Dr. Octopus is dead. Long live the superior Spider-Man. And he sits there and he shows himself as superior Spider-Man. And in the panels beforehand, you can sit here and he shows all the other you know, little intricates and upgrades he's done to Spider-Man's costume. So as we see it unfolding already, we can see that Otto Octavius, or Dr. Octopus, is Spider-Man now. But already we can see Peter Parker's muscle memory taking over, how he's kind of over himself. And it's just like the goodness in Peter Parker's memories or mind or whatever is kind of taking over Otto a little bit. So it's like you're going to see a darker Spider-Man now, but still doing somewhat of the good deeds. So it's going to be interesting to see where Superior Spider-Man goes and how he deals with all the characters in Peter's life, because you got to remember, he's still dealing with Mary Jane, and supposedly they're dating now again. You still got to deal with Aunt May and J. Jonah and J. Jonah Sr. and all the bad guys. And the bad guys are going to make their returns. I've seen images of the Shocker and some of these old characters. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in this series here. So yeah, I'm gonna give this book a 5 out of 5. I enjoyed it quite tremendously. I apologize for all the spoilers, but I didn't show that many spoilers in this one. This one I wanted to go out there and really show everything. Maybe try to prove to people that Superior Spider-Man might not be such a bad comic book. It might be pretty good the way the story is told. So I'm giving this one a 5 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. The only little gripe I might have a little bit is him being so up to changing his ways so quickly. But besides that, it was a good story with great art, and I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen next. So guys, that's it from Mike Spider Slayer. I hope you enjoyed this review at Comic Book Corner, and as always guys, thank you for watching, and this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. Take care everyone, see you soon, bye.